What does the full rendering actually give? Vrauk. Vrauk. Caged Vrauk. Full rendering gives meat, chitin, guts, cages, brains, and formic acid. So yeah, crunchy for chitin, and then beautiful formic acid. Glorious formic acid. So, rubber. In order to get the rubber moving, we need that. And we need that. Ta-da! Rubber! Hey, it's rubber. Huh, sounds like... Yeah, sounds like an Ender's Game reference. Yeah, that makes me... That actually does make me think about that with this particular Vraux. These, insects. It's a shame that they didn't really end the movie in a way that they could potentially really continue with that series, because it's a big series of books that covers the entirety of Ender's life. So it would have been nice if they had ended it in such a way to make it a little bit more consistent with continuing. But I don't think that's going to happen. They're likely not going to continue. So we have rubber. By the way, they have rubber. The second book is pretty good. Well, define second book, because there's the second book published in the series, and then there's the book at the end that takes place after the events of the first book and before the events of the second book that was published. So by second book, do you mean the one that's chronologically second or the one that's published second? Because it really sucks if you have read the entire series and you know what happens at the very end of the series and try to read that book that takes place between the events of book 1 and 2. It's annoying. Very annoying. Knowing what happens afterwards trying to read that. So I would actually say, if you have never read the Ender's Game series of books, make sure that the second book you read is actually like the 6th in the series, something like that, the very last one published, because it takes place between the events of 1 and 2. Obviously, it's not required reading going forward in the series, but it's... Yeah, when you know what happens towards the end of the series, it sort of gets rid of all of the tension in that particular book. It's like you already know what happens, so there's no tension to any of the conflict that happens. It's like, I don't care. I know that... I know what happens afterwards. I know that there is an afterwards, etc., etc. Anyway... Rubber! 7 of them. Talk about Speaker of the Dead. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I've really read all the series. I technically do own the full series on my Kindle. It's just... reading them in publication sequence is not advised anymore, anyway. Okay. We have rubber. We have 1 per second of rubber. It's not enough. By the way, in fact, it's not even technically 1 per second of rubber, because it's 1-to-1 with latex, and we know about latex. So now, to scale rubber and to scale latex, we have to slaughter Vrauk if we want to save on our iron and copper. That's what this means now, because the main bottleneck on latex is that formic acid. It is the formic acid that's the biggest pain in the rear end, getting the latex. So Now we have the rendering of Rauk to give us more formic acid without having to spend iron, copper, and coke here, or however you want to get your carbon dioxide. That's the main bottleneck here on latex. The alginate, I mean, all of these are infinite sources, so outside of just a lot of buildings, it's okay. And then the creamy latex, again, infinite sources, so that's okay. It's just getting the formic acid that's the real bottleneck in there, and it didn't really make too much sense to have a unit of rubber in the end consume iron, copper, and titanium in this case, but having iron and copper go into rubber is like, ooh, considering how much rubber you need. Anyway. Okay, moving on. So we've got diborane, we've got water, we've got boric acid from our beautiful electrolyzer. Now we need boron trioxide to feed into glorious optical sets. And hello, it's another use of glass. Say hello to the next use of glass in the form of glorious optical sets. Now, these optical sets, I'm not really doing anything else with them at the moment. I will need more optical sets for more than just the lab instruments. They're called lenses, aren't they? Yes, they are. So, yeah, lab instruments, laser turrets. By the way, you no longer need laser turrets for either the molybdenum mine or the rare earth mine. They are now required for diamond mines, which is acceptable because you can choose not to mine diamonds. But if you choose to mine diamonds, you will need to set up some military science to unlock laser turrets. If you want to mine diamonds. If you don't want to mine diamonds, you can just completely ignore military science in its entirety if you have biters off. Ha, he forgot it! Okay, so, yep. Diamond mines will no longer require laser turrets. Soon-ish. So soon we won't need military science. Hopefully, Pyadon, this is all in preparation for your next major module, which will include a complete overhaul to military science. Ahem. Cough, cough. Okay, let's feed our glorious equipment chassis, and that will give us our first lab instruments, ideally. Are you not moving? You are, because I haven't. There. Works! Only after a big vacation. Yeah. Only after a big vacation. I mean, you could include a military science overhaul with a, people were wanting a space thing. People wanted pie in space. That was the recent talk on the community Discord. Hey, so we've got these things moving. The problem is they're going to be really limited by the ability for me to handcraft circuits at this point. So, remembering that all of this is to... Where is it? High tech, yes, you. All of this is to be able to automate the production of circuits, which, for reference, the handcrafting recipe for circuits is cheaper than the automation recipe for circuits. So let's get some of these circuits placed in there. And that magically is going to give us some retroviruses and some plasmids. And once all three of those end up making their way out to here. That'll be our first cDNA. Non-zero cDNA inbound, eventually. We've got a shared belt here on an input, and we've got... Or is it only one thing here? I've completely forgotten, actually. So this is 8 inputs, so it's 3 double lines in? What do I have that's not a double line? Is it you? No, that's that. Oh no, what am I thinking? It's 4 double lines in. It's 4 double lines in, so yes, this has a double line. That's pretty. What are you? Ah, you're the lab instrument. Okay. So lab instruments for a while have been randomized as well. Randomized sprites. We've got a computer. We've got an old style computer box. It's a lab instrument. Hey, it's a lab instrument. Have the equipment chassis been randomized? I wonder. I think maybe. Maybe so. But definitely these instruments have. Have all of those. Is there a way to turn off the randomized sprites? No. Actually. I think that would be under these settings, graphic settings, if that was possible. Yeah, I think there's no real way to disable the randomization. Apparently there is. Okay. I don't know. Don't know. Oh, and the other thing about going to V18 is that it changed the stuff with the randomized sprites related to the randomized sprites. It's like previously in V17 you could have your sprites in a folder called MIPS, and it would be able to pull those sprites in to do randomization. Now that's no longer the case, and now it it overrides. Like here, these icons are different now because it's looking at the first copy of the MIPT files rather than showing an actual sprite for these. It's like, ugh. And another thing with V18 is if I show recipes on the map, apparently the oil derricks have a recipe icon. We get these like half thingies. They have like an icon now. It wants all the MIPS to be, all the like variants to be on a single sheet instead of separate. Yeah. Yeah, and 18.2 broke things as well. 18.2. So we've got stuff, things. It's moving. Are we crafting? Yes, we are. Say hello to beautiful cDNA. Beautiful cDNA. I see you, cDNA. Issue is that if it goes left up here, I want it to go right first, please. Please don't go left. cDNA. Oh, hello, things. Stuffs. Yeah, let's make sure that you send all your stuff out in that direction. That would be fantastic. What are you? You're circuits. That's what you will be. So, cDNA. After all that, where's the others that have been made? Oh, it's nighttime. It's nighttime. There's one. Any more? There's one. Okay. We need 3. And I found 2, and I'm carrying 1. So as soon as they get over here and get inserted into this creature chamber, like so, that's 1. I'll have my first Auog crafting. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. There's 1. Where's the next one? Oh boy, chasing it down. Where's my next one? Such incredible output, by the way. Such an incredible output on these things in the beginning. More shall be made. Lots more. Shove that in, and we are making our first Auog. And with that, die. Just stop it. Only need the 1 Auog. Until we make our first Ulrich, in which, yeah, Ulrich will require, not the caged Ulrich, the, Mark 1. Oh. It's not called Mark 1. This one will need Alien Sample 2. Alien Sample 2 is at Green Science. Just, yeah, just think Green Science with this. We've got DNA polymerase, which we can't get until Genetics 2. Which, it's stuff that we already have at this point, but Genetics 2 is a Green Science tech. Primers, we can have Faugi, so we can have all of this stuff, but it's a Green Science tech. Microfiber, again, a Green Science tech. We could make it once we unlock fiber at Basic Electronics, which again is Green Science tech. And Formamide, we could make this, but again, Green Science tech. So no Ulrich until after you get Green Science. That is the key here. Formerly, you needed Ulrich to get Green Science because Ulrich was what you needed to get the bone meal. But now, Auogs and Ralesia are all that you have for animals at Red Science, as Pydew says, and Auogs will give you bone meal. Auogs give you the bone meal that you need for the alien sample 1s, ultimately. Auog will also give you manure for the urea production, because you will need urea to automate your circuits. Lots of stuff. Lots of things. Lots of glorious things. There's another cDNA popping down. This takes a while. By the way, this is a 300-second crafting time. 5 minutes. 5 minutes of sitting and waiting to get this thing going. And that'll just be like our first Auog. Let's, in the meantime, work on placing Auogs. So I have a few Auog paddocks that I have crafted. And I do hope you can see why I did all of this off screen and just hooked it up so that we can see all this moving together. As because I wanted to focus more on the building of the Auog paddocks today, as well as Ralesia. We'll need to actually make our first Ralesia as well. But that, and yes, I'm totally placing all 20 of these. That will require placing down a botanical nursery, because now the botanical nurseries are the creature chambers except for plants, effectively. They're also used to get some other stuff. As I go all the way back, run, run, run. So our first Ralesia, so you can see here, it makes the Ralesia seeds out of Ralesia, it makes saplings, it makes the seeds out of Kickalk. It'll make, generally speaking, it'll make seeds. It doesn't make wood seeds, but it makes wood seedlings. Okay. Ralesia. This will require an earth sample for flowers, some biosamples, cDNA, water, and a codex. Most of this will be handcrafted. I may as well grab the cDNA while I'm here. Some biosamples, sure. Get this moving. Ralesia codex, I need to make like 3? At least 2. The codex is very simple, you can just straight up handcraft it. Although the DNA sample has to be made in the data array. So let's head it back over to our data array. Change it off of the randomness. No more randomness for you. You will make a flower sample for me. I guess I could just have a machine doing the codices, if I really desired. Oh hey, there's some cDNA. Yay. Things which I need. Come on, give me that first codex. You need 1 codex. Good. It's 100 red science. So this is like a tech. Like each of these is a tech. You can think of it like that. Alright, where'd you go? Where is it? You're hiding from me. Where are you? Here. Go, my glorious thing. Do the thing. Do I need 2 of these? Hold up. Do I need 2 of you? No. 1. 1 is good. 1 is grand. By the time I did that, hey, it's our first Auog. Yay, our first Auog. 5,000% speed. Yay. So just like with the Vrauk, we'll be starting out with making caged Auog. So I've got to bring the cages over too. That'll be glorious, or bring the cages down. So I've got cages on my bus somewhere. Somewhere, I thought. Maybe? Cages? Cages, right here. So cages are on the bus for my animals. Cages are a net negative, although you do get a cage back when you uncage an animal, and when you slaughter, I think you get the cage back. I'm pretty sure slaughtering gives you the cage back. But the thing is, you don't get the cage back if the craft fails. So, with the Vrauk, for instance, it is an 80% chance that you actually get the caged Vrauk. If you don't get the caged Vrauk, you do not get your cage back. Why are you not moving? Why are you not barreling? Barrels? Insufficient barrels? Okay, have more barrels. Just more! Give me more barrels. More barrels. Let there be barrels. As long as this doesn't completely back up, it'll be fine. It will be fine. So yeah, 80%, that means that 20% of the time I'm going to lose my cage, which, yeah, that sucks. I mean, you can totally turn off the spawning of vanilla oil. Like, that's a startup setting. You can totally set it to not spawn vanilla oil fields. Unless you mean removing vanilla oil recipes from the game entirely. But you're saying vanilla oil and pumps. I'm thinking you're referring to the vanilla pump jacks, removing the oil nodes as well as removing the vanilla pump jacks, which I don't have unlocked right now. Yeah, you can remove the vanilla oil from spawning. You can remove the vanilla oil from spawning completely. But as just a game startup setting, that is part of the game. You can just do that. Okay, heading on out this way again. With our beautiful Auog, Mark 1. I need to see what I actually need to feed this thing as well. Joy. You there. Do that. Take... Oh, I didn't pick up the... I didn't pick up the thingy. I picked up these, but I didn't actually... Ooh, hello. Yeah, I didn't... yeah, one moment, please. Pump jack. Does anything require the vanilla pump jack? No. No, it's not used as an ingredient in anything. You need niobium even to make it, to begin with. You there, Data Array. Give me... Oh, you didn't even finish making the thing yet. Give me the thing. So that's another 5-minute craft time, by the way. Just, you know, casually. 5-minute craft time. What else? I actually do need to make another one of these, so... Make me another flower. And I need another flower sample for the Kickalk. Our first Kickalk is going to require a DNA sample for flowers, as well as the Kickalk Codex and an alien sample 1. This is why I'm saying you can get green science before you've actually finished automating your circuits. Why do I want Kickalk? Because Kickalk offers me a better way to get raw fiber to make fiberboard. So if I can get Kickalk, I'll also have alien sample 1s, which means I'll have alien sample 1s and semi-automated lab instruments by adding by hand circuits, so I'll have a little bit of green science, technically. Raw coal does not exist. Completely disabled whatever says raw coal in your startup settings. Yeah, it does not exist. It is not a thing. Raw coal is not a thing. Just like oil sands is not a thing. It's just ignore it. Doesn't do anything. It's broken. Don't do it. Where's my Kickalk Codex? Oh. There are much better ways of getting coal than through raw coal, as well as coal dust. And raw coal is not doing beyond the first few steps of processing of it, ever, like, at all. Where thingies. I need another Ralesia, obviously, and I need a Kickalk. Give me stuff! There we go. Make the thing. I guess in the meantime. In the meanwhile, make that first flower. Ralesia flower. So, with the flowers, you make the first flower, you turn, you have to put the flower into the actual thingy as a module, but you also need more flowers, right? You also need more flowers, which means you need seeds to get those flowers. So, thinking about this logically, don't you need to actually make 2? You need to make 2. Well, depend on if aren't the flowers also modules? Or does it not actually use that mechanic for the flowers? For the plants? So my choice is either have the first craft time take literally forever, or just make 2. Speaking of making, make. We shall see the... Yeah, crafting speed 0.01, so I need a flower to go into the machine as the module, and I need a flower to make the first seeds to do that. To make like 6. No, but see, Pyandon, my point is the flowers are different from the animals because you have to make more than 1 through the data array stuff. With the animals, you can start using the animals with just 1 animals. With the flowers, you have to make more than 1. More than 1. And in this case, what my plan is, I will use 1 as a module, and I will use 1 for seeds, or however many are needed to do the seed recipe. Make me more stuff. More botanical nurseries. Besides, I can't even make a Ralesia plantation yet until I get treated wood, so let's think about that as well, as I need treated wood. What am I here for again? I'm here for you. With placing a Ralesia codex. Give me more Ralesia codex, because I think I might need them. More Ralesia codex. Make me things. Make glorious things. So the seeds, it's 2. Yes, it is 2 Ralesia per... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's 5. It's 5. You need seeds. to grow Ralesias. It's 5 to get the seeds. Okay. You realize that means you need to actually make 6 of them through this process, right? That means that you need at minimum 6 through this process. You need 5 to craft seeds, and you need 1 to place in the machine to make it not take several hours. Okay. Sure. I think I might have to actually do this. I might actually do this. Okay. Let's get the codecs there. Lamps, circuits, glass, and tinned cable. Oh god. Okay, sure. Let's do this. Where's tinned cable exist? Again, raw ores. Yeah, just do that. Such thrilling gameplay. And let's make one of those. Yes, while I wait on the Ralesia, I'll be working on the Augs, and then go back and forth between them. The thing is, what I want to do is I want to set up enough ingredients to make the 6, or I guess 5 more of the DNA samples for flowers. I want to set up some Ralesia codexes to be automated so that I don't have to wait around on them, and go from there. Question regarding using animals as modules. Since the speed bonus is so high, my guess is that he doesn't want you using speed beacons. That's like, this top of mind first thought is doesn't want you using beacons on them.